All right, so today I want to show you how to make a game in Genially. Today I have two assignments that I want to combine. So I'm going to combine this body planes one and this body cavities one into one game. And so the first thing I'm going to do is come on over to Genially, and I've already picked a game that I want to use. So I just click use this template. And I'm going to rename it up here in the top left so it automatically saves my work. I'm going to call it body planes and cavities. And hit save. All right, so now that first page is going to be great. Okay, that one's fine. What I want to do here, though, is I want to add a slide. And so you can go in and you can look at all the different slide options that you have. And I'm just going to pick one of these cool ones that has all of the resources on it because that makes a good background for videos. So I'm going to go ahead and have them watch a video first. And so I'm going to put my video link in here. And sometimes you have to actually open up the YouTube video to get the links. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and pick body planes. And then this one I'm using a pre-recorded video from a different resource. So I'm going to come down here and hit that share button and get the copy link. And you can also embed these right into your Canvas slides by hitting the embed and getting the embed code for it. Then you just copy and paste that into your assignment page. So now that I have my link, I'm going to come back over to Genially and I'm just going to paste my video right in there. And then I want to go ahead, I'm going to use this image as my next button. So I'm just going to write next on it. And if you saw that, I just went over to resource or text on the left-hand side. I'm going to drag this down here, come up to the top, change the color. Maybe I'll make it pink and bold. And then what I want to do is I want to add an animation. So I'm going to group these, and then I'm going to create an animation. And so I don't want them to be able to just skip through it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down and hit entrance, and then you have all these different options on how you want it to come in. And then I'm going to pick 2 minutes. And you can do 2 minutes, 5 minutes, however long your video is, really. And so now when that next button comes up, they'll just hit that to go to the next page. And so now I want to ask some specific questions about what they saw in this video. So I'm going to go ahead and go to see what kind of questions they have here. And this is really drag and drop. So what you want to do is come up here and you're just going to change what is up here. So for example, I'm going to say body planes, and I'm going to say drag the body parts to the corresponding planes. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is come over here and figure out what my body planes are. And you can just unlock this by clicking on it. Oops, I want to move the whole thing, so I'm going to select everything in here. Move that up a little bit. All right, so I'm going to go over here and I'm just going to pull up a Google image of body planes to remind myself of what everything is called. All right, we got some good videos here showing us all the different body planes sections of the body. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to label that image with all these different planes. So I'm just going to go back into my editor and I'm going to add some stuff. So I'm going to hit medial plane. It's my first label. All right, and then I'm going to just drag that up here. Okay, and then I want to put an arrow in there showing the medial plane. So I'm going to put a dotted arrow in my resources section. Little images, and then I can say line. And you can choose between different shapes, connectors. There's the one that I want. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put that one in there, and I'm going to turn it in the direction that I want by just going like this. And then I'm just going to move it here and put my line in there. All right, so now I'm going to go in. I'm going to do that for each one of these. Okay, so now that I have all my sections labeled, what they'll do when they actually play this is they will move the body parts to the sections of the planes, showing where everything is within the body. Now, when we go to the next page, we have another image here with some more skeletal parts this time. So we can actually just delete all of this because I want to do something different. I'm going to use a different image. So I just have to unlock it and then delete it. And then what I want to do now is I want to use this, which was from my lecture. And so I'm going to take a screenshot of that. And then I'm going to go ahead and post it right in here. Just like that. And so I'm going to go ahead and move that over here. And I'm going to say, oh, I kind of want this to be in the back. So I'm going to move it backwards until all those other pieces kind of pop up in the front of it. And then I can make this larger or make it smaller, depending on how I need to make it fit. And so we have the skull, and so we're definitely going to want to use this one here, but I might want to move this over onto this side. And you can see right here how this is connected to the skull. Okay, so that's the drag and drop feature. And then over here, we're showing the frontal or sagittal plane front to back. And so I want to come over here and see, well, do any of these have a front to back? Yes, the jaw does. So I'm going to find out which one that's connected to, and I'm going to move this over here. Okay, maybe make it, yeah, I'll put it over here. I'm going to make this line a little bit smaller. All right, so we have our jaw. And then I want to come over here and see, oh yeah, his butt, okay, is going to be posterior. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to change one of these that just doesn't fit in this, image here. They're what we're trying to accomplish anyway. So now I have the butt. Oops, I've changed the wrong one, so that's okay. We're going to go ahead and change that to butt. Okay. And then we can actually make another one right here for, we'll call this the kneecap. All right, so we're going to call that the kneecap because that's part of the frontal plane. And then see if any of these other ones don't fit. Let's see, we could use this one to be heel. So we're going to move this down here and take that out. And we'll call this the heel. You see how you can just change things to make it kind of work the way you want it to work. This back down here, showing the kneecap. And I can actually change the color of that so they can see it a little bit better. Maybe I'll make it pink. This one I'll make purple. Maybe I'll make everything that's in the front pink and everything that's in the back purple. This one's supposed to be the butt, okay. So now we've got them all labeled and we're good to go. So now we can just go to the next page and see if that's going to work for what we want to do next. Now, when you're finished, you want to view what it's going to look like. So for example, you want to come over here to the bottom right and hit that little button here, and then it will show you how the game is going to be played. So you've got the ear, you got leg, and it repeats the words for them, which is nice.
Hand. Chest. Neck, throat. Head.
And so, because this is an anatomy course, I could go in and change all of these wordings to be the actual anatomical structure, which is probably what I'll do once I have it all set up. So pretty cool. So they're going to watch a video, then they're going to play a little game enforcing what was in the video. And then I'm going to go ahead and add another video in here, our second video. So I'm going to push this up. And I'm going to put my second video in there, which I do just by coming over here. I go to anatomy. I find the video that I want to use this time, which is actually body cavities. And so I will stop that and scroll down so I can get the share link. And then now that I have the share link, I just paste it right in there, Control V, and that's going to put my video in there. And I want to format this video, which I'll have to go back and do on the other one as well. So I just double click it, and then I say I want it to autoplay. Now the only thing when you do that is that it will play automatically, but it will they'll have to unmute because it automatically mutes it when it plays automatically like that. All right, so then once you're all finished, you want to make sure that you come up to the top, and you can go back and keep editing this even after you post it. Again, you want to make sure that you group these and then add your interactivity, which is to go to the next page, save it. And I don't want it to come in until a certain period of time. So I'm going to say I want it to fade in after 180 seconds, which applies to minutes. And then my page is finished. And so then I'll go through, and again, on the next page, I will work some more on different questions. So this time I might actually do something more like a interactive question. And so the way I do that, just bring a page over here, and you can actually just add a blank page if you want. But I'm going to go ahead and keep the same basic idea. So I'm going to come over to interactive questions. You have single choice, multiple choice, true, false, image selection, sorting, fill in the blanks, arranging in order. So I'm going to go ahead and choose single choice. And I'm going to ask them a question about, you just click right on here, and that changes the question. And then you put your answer in here. So for example, the nose is part of which plane? And then I just go in and I say frontal, or sagittal is another one. So I could do multi-answer and put frontal and sagittal in there, but I'm just going to put one for now. Could also be medial, so there's multiple options. And so once I'm done, I just come over here, make sure that everything's right. What you want to do is you want to set it so that all the questions keep running until they get them correct. Okay, that way that they actually show mastery at the end. And then you want to set it for what it's going to do next. So you go to actions, and then when answering, where do you want them to go? I'm going to want them to go to the next page. And so I just hit next page. And then I can duplicate this and add a series of questions for them to answer either in multiple choice or true and false. You just delete what's here and come over here and pick a different selection, depending on what you want them to answer. All right, so once you have finished your entire presentation, I always recommend that you view each of the slides just to make sure that the whole game is going to run appropriately. And so this, yes, that worked, and it took them to the next slide, so that's good. And the way that you can see the entire presentation is you go up to Present, Show Creation, and then it'll show you the entire creation. So if we start it, we've got our video. After a certain amount of seconds, that button will pop up in the upper right-hand corner. Okay, so all I did was move it up a little bit, and now it takes me to the next page. So sometimes you just have to play around with the area in which you put it, just to make sure it's not in the way of these buttons down here in the bottom right-hand corner. And so you can see that the questions are working properly. Everything is working correct. You can move things around.
Heart. Stomach.
And then when they get one wrong, it tells them a no, and then it puts it back because you set it to that
Brain.
they have to get them correct in order to move forward. And so at the end of this, I will put a slide that says, congratulations, you finished. Take a screenshot of this page and add it to your assignment page for grading. All right, I hope that helps. Just remember to publish up here in the upper left-hand corner so that it will save your changes as you're working on your document. All right, good luck.